I'm not one to post about supernatural stuff. I'm a med student, grounded in science, facts, anatomy. But what happened in my grandfather's province still keeps me up at night. And I haven't been able to talk about it until now. This happened a year ago in Barang Matanglawin, a small mountain village in the Visayas. My Lolo Caesar had lived there all his life, strong, healthy for his age, still able to hike the hills like someone half his age. So when they found him dead and half buried in the forest, it made no sense. The local police said maybe wild animals had gotten to him, but the body was different. Chunks of flesh were cut out clean, not ripped or gnawed on, and the wounds were rubbed with salt, like someone was trying to preserve him. The villagers weren't surprised. They whispered it might be the Busaw. I had never heard of it before. Apparently it's some kind of ghoul, a flesh-eating creature that digs up graves to feast on corpses. It doesn't just eat them, it preserves the meat like tapa using vinegar, salt and herbs. Disgusting. Anyway, I went home for the funeral. Everyone told us to bury Lolo before sundown, but I pushed it back so a priest could attend. The whole time, people stared at me like I was inviting something in. I thought they were just being superstitious. We buried him at around 6:30 p.m. By 7, the streets were empty. Doors locked. No one even dared say goodbye. And my grandmother started hanging garlic and spreading salt on the windowsills. I stayed up that night. I couldn't sleep, partly from grief, partly from stubbornness. I sat near the front window that overlooked the cemetery just past the backyard. Around midnight, I started to smell something. Rotten meat and vinegar, like expired adobo left in the sun. Then came the dogs. Not barking, howling. A chorus of deep, desperate howls like they sensed something was wrong. I saw movement near the grave. At first, I thought it was just a large man. But no man moves like that. It hunched and limped, with limbs too long and a back that bent in unnatural ways. It had skin the color of mold, thin and stretched tight. It held a large bolo and it started digging, fast. Inhumanly fast. I couldn't move, couldn't breathe. I watched it pull my grandfather's coffin open. And then it began eating him. Strips of flesh, organs, chewing and swallowing like it was starving. The sound of it, the chewing, was wet and slow, like biting into fruit with bones. Then it stopped. It turned and looked right at me. I froze, and then it smiled. Its teeth were black and sharp, and its eyes had a yellow glow like fireflies trapped in sockets. "You shouldn't have watched," it rasped. Its voice, it sounded like dirt and phlegm grinding in a throat. "Now I'll wait for your body too." I don't remember how I got away from the window. I think I blacked out. The next morning I told my aunt what I saw. She went pale. We went to the cemetery and the grave was open. The coffin was there, but empty. There were deep claw marks in the soil, and a foul smell still hung in the air. They believe me now, or maybe they always did. I moved back to Manila, but I never sleep well anymore. Sometimes I wake up gagging on the scent of vinegar and rot. Other nights I hear scraping under the house, like something's trying to dig its way up. And once, when I looked in the mirror after a nightmare, I saw something scrawled on the glass in faint brown. "Still waiting." I don't know how long I have, but I know it's out there, and it remembers me. It's been 9 months since I saw the Busaw. 9 months since I watched that thing rip open my grandfather's coffin and eat him like dried meat. I tried to forget it. I buried myself in med school, told myself it was just trauma, grief, a hallucination. But deep down, I knew something wasn't right. I hadn't just seen it, I'd been marked. I started getting sick, not just tired sick. My muscles would ache randomly, especially at night. Sometimes I'd wake up with scratches on my legs, or mud under my nails, even though I hadn't gone outside. I thought I was losing it. Then one night I heard digging, not outside, under my bed. At first it was soft, like someone running their nails through the floorboards. Then louder, scrape, scratch, claw. I got up and flipped. The bed, nothing, no holes, no dust, nothing. But the smell, That same rotting meat and vinegar stench was in the air again. I nearly vomited. I tried salt. I tried garlic. Even iron nails around my room, just in case. For a while it stopped. But a week later I found a gift at my doorstep. Wrapped in banana leaves. Still warm, I opened it. A piece of human skin, salted and tied with thread. I left Manila that day. I went back to Barang Matanglawan, thinking maybe someone there could help. I tracked down Mang Ildefonso, a retired albulario who once helped my grandmother after she was hexed in the 80s. He looked at me the moment I stepped into his hut and said, "You watched it, didn't you?" I nodded. "Then you're not cursed. You're acclaimed." He told me something I didn't want to hear. The Busaw doesn't just eat the dead. It keeps track of the living who witness it. It feeds on fear, slowly, patiently. It waits until you're broken, then takes you, body and soul. There was only one way to sever the connection, return to the grave where it began. Finish the burial, close the loop, or let it claim me. So I did. At midnight, I walked back to my grandfather's grave with Mang Ildefonso. We brought salt, bones from the coffin, and a small pig's heart as an offering. The air was thick, still, no crickets, no wind. Then it came, crawling from the trees. Same rotting stench, same yellow eyes. But this time I didn't run. Mang Ildefonso began chanting. I poured the salt around the grave, threw the heart in, and I spoke loud and clear. "I watched you once, but I bury the dead now. I am not yours." The Busaw screeched, a horrible guttural sound that shook the trees. But it didn't cross the circle. It just stared at me. Then it whispered, "Next time you won't get to bury yourself." And it sank into the soil. I haven't seen it since. No more scratches, no more meat at my door. But I still hear it sometimes in my dreams. Digging, scraping, waiting. And I know one thing for sure. You can only bury a monster once. After that, it starts digging for you. It's been 2 years since I sealed the grave. 2 years of peace. No nightmares. No rotting stench, no Busaw. I thought it was over. I thought I was safe. But last month, I got a call from my cousin Ella. She'd been fixing up our grandfather's house. The one near the edge of the woods in Barang Matanglawin. She found something buried in the garden. A jar of salted meat, labeled with my name. I flew back immediately. When I arrived, the house was already abandoned again. Doors left open. No signs of forced entry. Ella was gone. Her things still inside. Her phone left charging by the bed. Her shoes by the door. The only thing out of place was the jar, sitting on the kitchen table now. Open. Half empty. It was my handwriting on the label. But I never wrote it. I called the police, no leads. They said maybe she went to the city. But I knew. I felt it deep in my stomach. The Busaw wasn't gone. It never left. It was just waiting. I stayed the night in Lolo's old room. Couldn't sleep. I kept staring at the tree line outside, listening. At 2:13 a.m., I saw a light flicker in the forest. A dull orange glow, like a lantern. I grabbed a flashlight and followed. The deeper I went, the stronger the smell became. Rot, vinegar, blood. The forest grew quiet again, like the first time. And then I heard it, digging. Slow, rhythmic, something being pulled from the earth. I crept closer and saw something that stopped my heart. It was Ella, pale, dirty, hollow-eyed. She was kneeling beside a shallow grave, hands bloodied, digging with her bare fingers. She turned slowly and her eyes met mine. "Shh," she whispered, smiling. "It's not done yet." She moved aside and I saw what she had dug up. A coffin. My coffin. My name carved crudely on the lid. The wood cracked open, and inside was me. Bloated, dead, mouth open mid-scream, covered in salt. I stumbled back, vomited, tried to run, but Ella stood up, blocking the path. Her face suddenly changed, her mouth split wider than humanly possible. Teeth like rusted nails, eyes glowing faintly yellow. "It didn't want you then," she hissed, "but it's hungry again." I woke up back in my room, sweating, gasping. I thought it was a dream until I saw the dirt under my fingernails and a cut across my chest I didn't remember getting. I ran to the bathroom, checked the mirror. There was writing again. Same brown faded smears. This time it said, "You buried the wrong one." I'm writing this now in case someone finds me, because I think I died that night. Or maybe a part of me did. Maybe that's what it wants, to hollow you out. Let you walk, let you live. But bit by bit it's feeding, not just on your body, on your identity, your soul, until what's left is just meat in a jar. So if you ever see a grave with your name, don't run. Pray it stays buried, because once the Busaw calls you back, you're already dead. You just haven't been eaten yet. I thought it ended when I sealed the grave, when I screamed into the woods with salt in my hands, when the Busaw sank into the soil and left nothing but silence behind. I thought I won. But the thing about winning against monsters is, they don't play fair. They wait, and they remember. 1 year later, it started with a funeral, a closed casket one. My cousin Ella, the same Ella I saw digging up my grave, had finally turned up. Except not really. They found a body in the same woods near Barang Matanglawin. Female, face gone, gut scooped out, mouth packed with rice and salt. No ID, no fingerprints, but the DNA said it was Ella. I didn't believe it. I couldn't. I knew she was still out there, because I dreamed of her almost nightly. Not dead, not rotting, digging, smiling, waiting. So I went back, again. I promised myself it would be the last time. Barang Matanglawin was quieter than I remembered. More houses boarded up. Even the trees felt taller, like they'd swallowed more than light over the past year. When I got to Lolo's house, it was still abandoned, but lived in. Food wrappers, used candles, chicken bones with red thread tied around them. And one thing I hadn't seen before, a mirror nailed to the ceiling above the bed, cracked, burned at the edges, like someone had tried to seal something inside it. That night I stayed. I shouldn't have. 2:46 a.m. I woke up to the sound of wood cracking underneath the house. Then the smell. Vinegar, meat, rot. I went outside with my flashlight. There was no digging this time. There was something hanging from the tree in the backyard. A shape, human, wrapped in banana leaves. I climbed up and cut it down. It was a body, salted, bones removed, mouth sewn shut. When I unwrapped the face, it was mine. I screamed, ran, but I didn't leave. Because then I saw it, her, Ella, at the edge of the trees, pale, filthy, but smiling like she had a secret too big for her teeth. "You were supposed to stay dead," she whispered. Then she ran. The chase led me deep into the woods, back to the old cemetery, back to the grave I thought I sealed. Except it was open again. No salt, no bones, just darkness, and something moving down there. I was about to run when I heard it. "Help me!" Not from the hole. From behind me, I turned and saw myself. Not the dead body, not a reflection. Me, alive, dirty, eyes bloodshot, wearing the same clothes I wore the night I first saw the Busaw. He looked terrified. "They buried the wrong one," he said. "You're not real. You never were. You're just wearing my face." I backed away. My heart raced. My legs shook. He lunged at me, and we both fell into the grave. Now here's the part no one will believe. I woke up somewhere else, somewhere wrong, inside the coffin, nailed shut, airless, cold. I screamed until my throat bled. No one heard. I clawed at the wood until my nails tore off. Time stopped meaning anything. And then I heard it. Digging. Not from above, from beside me. The soil gave way. Something grabbed me, pulled me out. I gasped for air and looked up. It was Ella, but her skin was peeling. Her eyes were hollow sockets. She smiled with someone else's teeth. "You're not done yet," she said, and shoved a jar into my hands. Inside it was my heart, floating in vinegar. "You'll walk. You'll talk, but I have the rest." She turned, disappearing into the trees. I woke up again, back in Manila, at home, in bed, alive. I looked normal. I felt normal. But on my desk was that same jar. Still warm, still pulsing. Now I live day to day, pretending to be me. I go to work. I talk to friends. But I don't sleep. I don't eat much. My body is colder now. My reflection sometimes moves a second too late. Sometimes I wake up in strange places, graveyards, back alleys, muddy fields. I always have dirt on my feet. I think the Busaw didn't take me. I think it made me one of them. A living grave, a vessel that remembers what it was like to be dead. And when I look in the mirror now, I smile without meaning to, because I think I buried the Busaw, but maybe I just made room for it inside me.